Hello everyone, and thank you for deciding to watch my first video. Hopefully my narration isn't too boring. I am, after all, working with a low budget. But hopefully I'll be able to do a somewhat decent job at explaining and discussing things. With that being said, let's dive into the death of Anakin Skywalker. The title of this video may be a bit confusing to some, so I suppose it would only be right to elaborate a bit. This video does not concern the scene in Return of the Jedi where Luke takes off Vader's mask to reveal Anakin. This is about the death of Anakin Skywalker as a character, where he becomes the hollow and cold machine known as Darth Vader. I can't play the actual scene from the movie in this video due to fear of some sort of legal action, which seems unlikely, but I'll insert a link to the scene in the description below, along with another video that I'll be mentioning later on. In my opinion, this is arguably one of the best scenes in the entire Star Wars saga. The emotion, the way it's executed, it's all perfect to me. Although these statements may be a bit biased considering that Anakin has always been a character that people, including myself, can somewhat relate to, and I'm sure that some of you can agree. I'm a bit conflicted about whether I like the prequels as a whole or not. There's a lot I don't like, but there's also a great deal that I do like. The death of Anakin scene is definitely one of those things I love about them. If there's one thing George Lucas did right with the prequels, this scene is it. Starting with a few moments showing Anakin being transported in a medical capsule on Coruscant, we then jump to a few frames showing him laying on an operation table. He is, at this point, surrounded by all sorts of medical droids of all different shapes and sizes. Anakin writhes and screams in pain as they attach cybernetic limbs to him. Sadly, we don't get to see much of this from the film, but according to the novelization, Anakin screamed the entire time the medical droids were operating on him. I highly recommend that you read the Revenge of the Sith novelization, by the way. Matthew Stover did a wonderful job at putting you in the shoes of numerous characters. This even includes Anakin while he was being operated on and officially, quote-unquote, becomes the Vader we all know and fear. There's a lot more to this scene than meets the eye. A lot of attention has gone towards this scene these past few months. Star Wars Theory made a video shedding some light on it, which I'll discuss here in a moment. So much is said here, but a lot of it can't be seen or heard without a closer look. Anyways, the scene jumps back and forth between Padme giving birth to Luke and Leia, and the creation of Vader. Unbeknownst to Anakin in his severely damaged state, he is actually killing the person he loves the most with his volcanic hatred through the Force. Finally, we get to the part where the infamous black mask of death is being lowered onto his face. We see his eyes widen with terror as it's nearly upon him. But there's no way for him to resist. How can he? The droids lock, slide, and secure the mask to him, with the sound of a sinister vacuum being the final nail in the coffin for Anakin. Vader is born, Anakin is dead, locked away in an ominous, dark husk of what he is now. He soon learns that Padme has joined Anakin in the abyss from his serpent-tongued master, Emperor Palpatine. Upon hearing this, he breaks free from the operating table that was restraining him. He staggers a bit, unfamiliar with his mechanical body. He lets out a roar of disbelief. And with that, we have the death of Anakin Skywalker. Now, I'd like to take a few moments to analyze some of the more hidden features within this scene. As I was writing the script for this, I tried to gather as many key elements as I could, but there are only two that are actually worth mentioning. Plus, I didn't want to stretch it. The first thing is Anakin's heartbeat. Throughout the scene, we can faintly hear a heartbeat in the background the entire time Anakin is being operated on. This obviously isn't the result of some sort of technology the droids are using to keep track of his status, because you would think they would have a more advanced way of doing so without blasting every heartbeat he has on a loudspeaker or some nonsense like that. Anyways, as soon as his mask is being lowered onto his face, we can begin to hear the heartbeat fade, and then come to a stop as it's finally sealed to his face. A split second of silence, and we hear for the first time the infamous breathing of the Dark Lord, along with the return of the phantom heartbeat from before. I personally think that the fading heartbeat represents the death of Anakin, while the return of it being the birth of Vader. The second and final hidden aspect of it all is where I talk about the video that Star Wars Theory made. To make a long introduction short, Anakin gasps, "Padme, help me," right before his face is sealed away forever behind his mask. This is very Easter eggish, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying that they can't even hear it. All they hear is the seal of the vacuum and mechanical whirring and such. I hear it, but I'm skeptical as to that's what that actually is. Hopefully somebody will try and contact Disney and clear things up. I can honestly see this as being some mechanical whirring or hissing, and people mistaking it for the voice of Anakin. Although this would be rather sad if that was the case. But let me tell you what this means, if that's what it means after all. It means that even though he is in tremendous pain and agony, Anakin's final thoughts before becoming Darth Vader are of his beloved wife, Padme. This is truly beautiful, and also extremely sad. That's pretty much all that I have to say about this. I hope my voice wasn't too annoying. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again. Have a wonderful day.